This is why you died.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to This Is Why You Died, the horror show that promises that there are no mid-credit bonus scenes, but we totally will have a last-second jump scare that makes no logical sense. I, as always, am Sir Ian Dangerous, aka your Uncle Frank, and joining me are two men who absolutely lose their shit when a cat comes yowling out of a dark corner after a long, quiet bit in the movie. Dan March of Madness and Ryan Ross Live. Hello, boys. Welcome to the show.
It's true. Very true.
It's true.
It's true.
Yeah, it's very true. If you did not tune into previous episodes, recently I was checking in on Ryan's cats while he was out of town, and one of them, no joke, stereotypically jumped out and scared the shit out of me while I was heading up the stairs. I was in my own horror movie.
You were living in a real horror movie.
The cat went like even the typical like sound effect that you can get from the library. It gave me the yowl like this. It felt so like I was looking around like, is there a camera? Like, am I being filmed? Because it just felt so like I was being punked. It's hilarious.
The irony of which was, I think you said that was Nova, right? The white one of the two?
Yes.
Which is funny because then when I came home, I got the same jump scare from Nick's because he had climbed into the closet. I was like, oh, they got into the closet. And I opened it up and he leaps out like a shadow in the night.
Oh my goodness! They each had to get one at you because that's what they do in a horror movie. If there's one cat, they have to have that cat do it 3 times. But if there's 2 cats, you're definitely getting 2 jump scares.
You know what they don't get right though in the jump scares.
What do they not get right?
They don't get
Dan March of Madness.
The stupid things that you say right when it's happening because your brain doesn't know what to do. Because like in the movie they're like, oh, or they might scream and they might sound like kind of like strong or like maybe they're scared and it sounds funny. But like I remember I went, who's died today? You know, like I made that, like you're just making sounds like because you don't know what's happening. So it's like that's not realistic. Now I'm like, okay, you got to just put that stupid foolishness that your brain is trying to catch up with what's going on. But I remember like saying like
now you know
gibberish.
That's if you were ever in the situation. Now you know how you react to a cat jump scare. Not Jonesy, you naughty cat. It's just come on, here.
Oh shit.
That sounds about right. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the show. We are the horror show that picks prompts at random from our 666 words and phrases in our buckets of the beast. And then we choose and watch horror movies based on those prompts. And we come back here to discuss them with all of you, our dedicated listeners. So thank you for tuning in once again. We're here to discuss a movie today, a movie that I'm choosing. It's my pick this week. But before we do that, we have to do a little couple words of business. So Dan, hit him with where they can find us on the socials, please.
Beacons.ai/TIWYD pod is where you can get all things us streaming, us on YouTube, links to our Patreon, and you can go to our store and buy this cool little beanie that I'm always wearing. And Ryan can tell us a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, that's right. That beanie is stapled to your head. I swear to God. Ryan, tell them where they can what they can do with our Patreon. Tell them about Patreon.
So we've got multiple tiers on our Patreon. They all come with exclusive perks. But our highest tier perk includes a shout out every episode. So thank you so much, CG.
CG, come on,
as our dedicated benefactor. But you also get access to other things like our extended episodes. We talk before and after the show about random stuff. Honestly, it doesn't even often center on horror movies. It's just kind of whatever we end up talking about.
It's entertaining.
We have a before and after of the show. We've got exclusive bonus content that we do put on the Patreon that you guys can get access to, including later this month, we're going to be playing Dead by Daylight together, which is super exciting. These two have never played, and I'm very excited to show it to them. Tin Man's going to be joining us, right? Tin Man's
joining us. And then who was our other patron that was selected to join us on the show? Hermes and Tin Man. Congratulations.
So
we'll be doing we should congratulate them perhaps after we find out if they kill us or not.
How vicious
they will
are.
Definitely kill
If they kill us a few times, then maybe not so much congratulations. But at the same time, congratulations to them for being selected. And what else? Anything else about Patreon, Ryan, or should we dive into this week's movie?
I think that's pretty much most of it. You do get you can get a merch discount as well if you are interested in the merch, like Dan mentioned. And I'm going to just put in, I'm really excited for the Dead by Daylight episode because we're going to get in right before they remove Haddonfield. So I'm really hoping we can get on Haddonfield with you two before the map's removed from the game. So crossing fingers for that.
I'll die because I'll just be looking around the whole time. Look at that. This is so cool.
Lampkin
nerding out. Oh, wow. This is so cool, guys. And then I'm dead.
Unless you're Michael, then you could just walk around and just like stare at people.
That's no one, and then no one would die because I would be wandering around in Haddonfield. Like I'd be like the first half of Halloween where I'm just like I'm standing in the bushes and standing next to the clothesline, just kind of
that
like,
would be
wow,
funny to play the game, but just like stand like half your body in like bushes. That's all you can do. Game.
You can do that. Both Michael Myers and Ghostface are particularly good at that.
Oh, that's funny. Fantastic. That's funny. Well, yeah, so please join up our Patreon. You can check out that episode when it airs. Should actually be up by the time that this airs, so it should be up now. So if you want to join Patreon and check that out, please do so. But we are here to discuss horror movies, and this week, as I said, it was my pick, and my prompt was Deceit, which really threw me for a loop because there were so many movies I could have gone with that, and I just finally just put a gun to my head and forced myself to pick one, and I chose Autopsy of Jane Doe from 2017. Andre Overdahl, his first movie after Troll Hunter, the one he became known for because he wanted to not be known as the guy who does found footage movies, so he made this movie instead, told his agent, find me a good horror movie script. His agent did. Bam. And now we have this starring Emile Hirsch, Speed Racer himself, and the myth, the legend, the man who originated the part of Hannibal Lecter in cinema, Brian Cox. And a dead girl. A dead naked girl for the entire run of the movie. Just a quick synopsis of the movie if you haven't seen it. Although I do recommend to go in completely blind. But if you want to know what it's about and perhaps go check it out before you listen to the rest of the episode, I recommend it. But it's about a body that is found in a shallow grave in a house where a bunch of people have killed each other. And she's taken to be autopsied by a father-son team. And weird shit starts happening. And that's all I'm going to tell you.
Yes.
Go watch this movie and then come back. But going forward, boys, let's hit the spoiler warning. Let's go for it. Spoiler warning.
Here she goes.
Bam.
Spoiler alert. All spoilers, including character deaths and plot twists, are now authorized. You have been warned.
Bam, bam, bam. Spoiler warning. Spoilers for Autopsy of Jane Doe going forward from this point. And this is definitely a movie that you do not want spoiled because it has a lot of little secrets, a lot of mystery. And then it slowly reveals itself. And the first thing is that she's not really dead.
Yeah.
She's not dead.
Strong off the spoiler warning.
Yeah, that's the biggest.
This is why I warn you about the spoilers, man, because we're going in hard from the get-go. She's not really dead. She is a witch who was beaten up and killed and tortured
in Salem.
In Salem. And then buried, but now she's still alive. Everything's still kind of functional. She's being kept alive somehow. Her skin is still like you can cut it. Yeah, but you can't really burn it. It's weird how they.
The body.
It's lots of weirdness with this one.
This thing going on, yeah.
Yeah, as the autopsy progresses. So, which by the way, I love how at the beginning of this movie you have Roose Bolton. The guy, Michael McElhatton, who plays the sheriff, basically turned to the camera and go, "We've got a Jane Doe." Yeah. And all I could think of was like, "Now let's autopsy her." We go into the rock music that they're playing. We're gonna autopsy. Let's pump this music and autopsy this poor naked chick. All right, so boys, what was your experience with Autopsy of Jane Doe before we watched this movie? Dan, I believe you had seen it before, yes?
Yes, I own this movie. This is definitely always in my top 10, teeters in my top 5 favorite horror movies.
No
I
shit.
love this movie. So yeah. So this, I was very excited. I was wondering when the opportunity would arise because I wanted to bring this to the podcast, but when you said it, I was like, great, let's watch it again. So yeah,
Sniped.
I'm a big fan.
What number was this for you? How many times have you seen it?
I haven't seen it a ton of times. It's like I rented it once and loved it so much after I rented it that I then purchased it digitally. So then like I've probably seen it this might be I'm guessing my fourth, potentially my third or fourth. Yeah.
All right. This was my second time seeing it. I loved it when I first saw it for my other show, Horror Palooza, and loved it and was down to watch it again. And I did so. But Ryan Ross Live, you came in like a fresh baby to this movie. Like a fresh baby. Did you know anything about Autopsy of Jane Doe before this? What were your impressions going into it? Did you know anything at all?
I knew that it would be about autopsying a corpse that wasn't identified based off of the name. That's what I knew.
There you go. You got it.
All right. Perceptive. Well, let's start off. Let's go right into it. What did you think of Autopsy of Jane Doe? How was it for you to watch this movie? Because Dan and I have seen it before, so for us, we already knew what was coming, so we were just basically processing as we were watching. But I'm really curious how your experience was as a first-time watcher of this movie.
Well, my camera just froze, so maybe you should go to Dan first.
Tragic. Dan March of Madness. Dan, what about this movie did you like, Dan? What makes it such a high favorite for you? Like, what about this movie's the way it's presented, the story, the acting? What makes this movie a big one for you?
It is all of those things. You know, the best way that I could it really hit me this time watching it the third or fourth time is like it is such like a perfect like Tales from the Crypt or Tales from the Dark Side, you know, like it's one of those like it's like a perfect one of those sort of like stories that just is, you know, just it's in its own capsule. Like it doesn't need it. Like doesn't need a sequel. It would fit in one of those like scary movie Saturday nights. Like it's perfect. Like hour and a half. It just fits so well. I love the setup of this movie. Like the mystery of what happened at this house and the murder. This girl that is buried, you know, not very well in this house. And then I love how it visually sets up the location, you know, like not only are we getting the geography and the layout of this place that we're about to spend the rest of the movie, but also we're like, you know, we're getting the backstory. We're getting the story that this is like a family home. So I love the setup. And then I just love the mystery of like, as they cut into the girl and like reveal more and more secrets.
Yeah.
It's just like this amazing mystery that then unfolds into this like very creepy, very well done horror movie that is ultimately very tragic and has a lot of like a lot of like heavier themes too. So there's so much to love about this movie.
And the pacing is really good, especially in the first half, like as it's laying everything out and as you said, showing the geography of this old mortuary, this old family run mortuary that they've had for a few generations. And so like right off the bat, you're like, oh, okay, creepy old mortuary, great. And that does a lot of work for this movie as well, but it definitely escalate once we start cutting into this corpse, which, to be fair, when I first heard of this movie, I was like, oh, this one's going to be really gross. And it's not. It actually, you'd think for one where it's a movie about a naked woman lying on a slab getting dissected, you'd think it would be exploitative and gross. But in I feel like it wasn't. I feel like it was actually fairly reserved. Ryan, now that you're back, what did you think of how things were handled in Autopsy of Jane Doe? Did you had an expectation going into it? Were you worried about what you were going to see and experience?
Yes, I'd say so. I think that it is fairly clinical in the way that it handles it. And I'm actually surprised. The woman who is Jane Doe is an actress. Like that is a real woman who lays on the table for the whole movie.
Yeah.
And essentially all this stuff happens around her. And she doesn't really need to act a great deal, but it is an actress. She's been in projects. Her name is, Olwen Catherine Kelly. So I thought it was interesting that they didn't just have like essentially a dummy type deal for this or like a realistic, like cadaver looking, I don't remember what the things are called that they make out of like that they use on like Mythbusters, you know, like the molds. Like I'm surprised they didn't do just something like that. But honestly, it wasn't too bad. There is some gory elements of like, I'm not great with medical incision stuff. So there was some kind of like ickiness of like the whole like, ooh type stuff for me when, you know, they're slicing into things or whatever. But eventually I think you joked about the music when they start the music of the first autopsy. I think that music is very tactically deployed of like, okay, we're going to have this hardcore music to give you this association and kind of shock sensitize you to this with something a little bit more pleasant going on so that you're used to it, because a lot of the movie's gonna involve slicing into these bodies.
I love that. We come right into them cutting up a fairly unattractive corpse. It's been beat up, it's been burned, and it's like they hit the hard rock and it's like, let's go autopsy, we're autopsying, and it's kind of like it does lighten the mood a little bit, that juxtaposition. But speaking of juxtaposition, you mentioned how it was actually a real actress who was on the slab for the most of it. And that was a very, very specific decision where Overdahl didn't think that he could get the kind of connection to the audience that he wanted from just a dummy on the slab. So he wanted a real person there. And you do have all of these up close shots of the corpse just spiking the camera and those dead eyes looking right into the lens or just below the lens. And really making a connection with just making a connection with the audience. And you do start to associate things with like what she might be thinking or whatever. Even though you don't know that she's still functioning in there, you know, you're still projecting onto her. And that effect is actually a film effect called the Kuleshov effect. And it's named after a Russian filmmaker named Lev Kuleshov in the early 1900s, who was experimenting with juxtaposing film against each other. And he actually did one where he would take these neutral expressions, and it was just the same neutral expression on a person's face, and juxtapose that with shots before and after it of different things, whether it would be like, you know, a cow, a dead baby, whatever. And the audience that he would show it to would think that the person's expression had changed and that they were having some sort of opinion about the things that they were seeing on either side of that. And
that sounds like a very Russian experiment in nature of like, we're going to flash images at you.
Absolutely. I mean, Russians created the montage. And so that's what he was experimenting with. And now it's a tactic that people can deploy. There was a movie that came out this year called Good Boy, where it has this incredible dog actor who just won the Astro Award for Best Actor of the Year. and his whole performance is the Kuleshov effect. That's all it is.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a fascinating fact.
I heard that the owners of that dog were like, the dog didn't know he was in a movie. The dog was just doing stuff, and we were like off camera, like trying to get his attention.
Sure, but because of that effect, you put thoughts and feelings on the dog, and in this movie, you put thoughts and feelings onto this corpse, whose expression never changes. She never moves, but all this stuff is happening around her. And it gets worse and worse and worse. And as they dig into her and find more horrible shit that happened to her, you know, all of this bodily trauma that she's hiding under this perfect skin, the broken ankles and wrists, the stabbing in the lungs, the tooth that's been ripped out of her throat and stuffed down into her stomach, wrapped in a cloth, like all of this stuff they find inside of her. And then of course the big moment where they pull her skin open and she's got the tattoos on the inside of her skin, which is,
yeah.
So it's all very cool, very disturbing stuff. Ryan, what did you think about the mystery as it unfolded? I know you're a mystery guy.
I really liked this movie, guys. This movie had like all of the stuff that I like. It had like the very like the mystery to solve bit. It had this whole kind of like unearthing. It had the whole supernatural kind of witchy, like ritualistic element. They had a little Roman stuff thrown in there, like and then the Bible and all that. Like it had I loved the way it all pieced together. And then also, I don't know if either of you two have played this game, but the fact that both of you like this movie, you guys need to play this game, because it's basically, I'd be willing to bet that this is a direct inspiration, if not just like a complete coincidence.
Operation?
No.
Oh.
There's a game called Mortuary Assistant that got very popular about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, Halloween time. And it's literally the same premise as this of you go to a little town, you work in a mortuary, and as you're doing your mortuary duties, just crazy shit starts happening, and you start hallucinating, and the bodies start talking to you, and there's like people calling, the doors start slamming on all of the cadaver drawers. Like, there's a lot of really cool stuff in it, and I played that game before, and so the beginning of the movie I was like, oh, this is just Mortuary Assistant, the movie, essentially. But then as we got further in, I was like, okay, this is cool. Like, they're adding narrative elements in the way that they lead up and give the reasoning for all this happening. I really, really liked it.
They're coming across all these clues that clue them into who this chick is. Now, here's the question, though. Did any of that feel far-fetched? Dan, I mean, like, this is your fourth time watching it?
Yeah.
Did it still hold up on fourth rewatch, or did you start seeing some holes in the plot?
I don't really see holes. I think I got to see like more of the other elements of the, kind of BC plot, like the father-son plot, the generational trauma, sort of generational passing down of things, subplot that they're trying to tell. But I feel like the supernatural elements and all that, they really work because they give them to you in little pieces, where they start to just like, you start to believe them. It's not like they just hit you with something otherworldly. It's like, they really ramp up to, especially like that moment when they try to burn her and she basically puts herself out. Like, as soon as they put the fire out around her, like, she goes out. Like, if they showed you that almost like right away, it wouldn't be as shocking, but to like spend an hour and really like eke out this dread and eke out these little puzzle pieces. So when you get to that moment, it's very like, this is shocking, and it works. So
I want you both to know that for like 10 to 15 minutes leading up to that scene, I was Sasha and I watched it together. I was on the couch literally going, burn the body! Burn it! Like, the minute that they open it up and you see all the runes, I was like, burn the body! And so I was like,
burn that shit! Run!
And
Get out!
They do all this other stuff, and then eventually they're like, okay, and like he's like, fuck it, and he starts pouring the gas on or whatever the medical fluid is, whatever. They're like, yes, good, like, smart thinking, and then it doesn't burn, and I was like, they're fucked. Like,
that's it.
That's it. They're fucked.
Yep. That's when they're not gonna have a good time. When you try to burn the witch, and she's like, "Nah, I've had enough of that. I've been burned before, boys." So all right. It's so creepy. But here's the other thing, though. This movie, aside from its filmmaking, which I think is fantastic, a lot of the tension building and the editing and everything, but it really does hinge on the performances of Brian Cox and Speed Racer. Dan, what did you think? Like, were the performances? I felt like I started seeing some holes in Emile Hirsch's performance this time through. Like, I was like, doesn't feel as organic. I don't know if to blame the directing. I don't know the editing. What made it feel like he had some choices that were a little bit flat, for lack of a better word. Dan, what did you think of the performances in this movie? Do you feel like they carried the film?
I'd say that the only place that I could see, at least if we talk about Emile Hirsch, the only place that felt a bit over the top was that when they kill his girlfriend, he is way over the top, and he like didn't even express that much. Like, it's almost like he goes too much, it's like he's losing too much. And what I think they're attempting to do, this is where I was like trying to like connect, is like maybe there's a scene where we miss something else, but it's like it almost feels like he's trying to express the loss of losing his mother through this moment. Like, he's finally been holding all that back, and you sort of get those connections kind of, but it's because it comes after. Like, he loses the girlfriend, and then he has the conversation with the father in the elevator about the mother. And I feel like if those two things were reversed, maybe you could help kind of put together of like, he's just expressing all this grief and loss that he probably hasn't like hit yet. But I feel like other than that, I mean, Brian Cox is freaking fantastic. I feel like I love just like, he always commands the screen and everything that he's in. So,
Great American accent too. Brian accent is not being, and also Brian Cox, and also Ophelia Lovibond as the girlfriend Emma, also British.
Oh, wow.
There's all these Brits coming and stealing our jobs. Ryan, what did you think of the performances? Emile Hirsch, was he over the top in that scene for you?
Honestly, like, I didn't mind either of them too much. I thought that they were pretty good throughout. I do think that the entirety of the scene where the girlfriend dies, I think was kind of rough in terms of... I think... Here's the thing. I think that the cat was extraneous. I think they did not have to kill the cat. I think I understand why it establishes, like, adds to the creepiness. I don't think it was necessary.
I don't know. I think they killed that cat because there is no answer for a cat that jump scares you but to break its neck and throw it in the incinerator. At least in this movie.
I caught a little bit something different this watch about the cat. And I think it is important that they killed it is because it is the last final thing that he has of his wife that he's holding on to.
That's
and
fair.
with the cat dying and him like almost like we're almost witnessing like a part 2 funeral potentially of him burying his wife again, like, and saying goodbye. He's like forced to now face it in this moment by burning the cat, like saying goodbye. That was the last thing he had of her.
I like that, Dan, because they're
important.
I like that because there is a kind of a subplot in this of desensitization and numbing of emotions. And he definitely comes across as a very emotionally numb guy who's okay with the girlfriend seeing corpses because he's like, what? This is what it looks like, honey.
Yeah.
Well,
sipping his tea and everything.
He was
having a little fun with it, but he's also, because he's so numb to it, he's like, you want to see something crazy? Yeah, sure. I'll show you something crazy. And the matter-of-fact way which he finds the cat mortally wounded in the duct, and then just kind of goes, this is the last thing of his wife. And he just goes, well, it ain't gonna live, breaks its neck and tosses it in the incinerator in this very matter-of-fact way, no words spent on it, right? And that, I think, speaks to that, to who he is as a character. And it's a subtle way of doing it. So I think that they could have gone more into it, but I'm glad they didn't, because I think it would have fluffed the runtime.
Well, I think the issue for me is between the cat and the girlfriend, right? We establish in this other house that something similar happened there, and all these people ended up in these like hallucinatory, haunted murder spree thing caused by the witch. And the problem is we established this whole thing with basically only the 2 guys. And so we kind of need extra people in order to establish the whole, they're seeing things, they're gonna like, more mortality is going to occur than just the 2 of them, because we need the 2 of them to be the centerpieces. They can't die right away. So I get why the cat and the girlfriend are used for that, and I can see where you guys are coming from with the cat, at least, but I think the girlfriend specifically feels very shoehorned in, of like, they give her a reason to come back. Sure. They give her the powers being messed with so she can get down the elevator conveniently. Sure. And they both see the thing and she gets stabbed. But then they kind of, to Dan's point, just kind of skip over. They have this like, oh my God, she's dead. And then they just kind of like move on and like, you know, half address her a couple different times. And it feels very like we needed another person to die and she was the only one around.
And here's an alternate take, is that it wasn't that we needed someone else to die, because I think this movie's lean, mean, and shouldn't have anything added to it. But I do think those scenes should have been played a little different. There's not enough, I think, panic in this movie. And it's all very much like, it's just immediate grief, right? He sees that dad accidentally chopped his girlfriend and he's immediately like, no, why? And not like, oh my God, dad, you just fucking stabbed my girlfriend, and like the freaking out of it, and then coming back to his senses. And then they go and like take care of business, because they're both dudes who work in mortuaries who have some desensitization, which is kind of the point. So having those scenes played for panic as opposed to just confusion, there's not enough immediacy, I feel, to those scenes. And that's kind of what I was feeling was lacking more on Hirsch's part, as opposed to Cox, who does do a good flustered look a couple times in this movie. And that works for his character as well.
But honestly, even then, to your point, all the panic is to these kind of supernatural things that occur, and then they fuck off. Like, they do a lot of like they're being messed with, like they're seeing things, they're being taunted. There's the whole thing where the bell comes to the door and they're inside and they block it with a file cabinet, and then Brian Cox gets kidnapped through the bathroom, and there's a panic for that too. And then the thing vanishes and something blasts through the door, and they have another moment of calm. And so we get these panic, calm. But it's like, always in short bursts, and we don't to your point, we don't get a like any sort of tension between him and the dad of like, holy shit, you killed my girlfriend. It's just accepted straight out of like, oh, we both saw it was a thing. Fuck, it wasn't a thing. Oh well. Like they could have had more dramatic tension there.
I totally get why you chopped her. I'm just sad. Right. It is a little bit. It's a little bit weird, but you know, I think the point of that all is that they are seeing all of that stuff and they're being messed with. And we know that she's messing with them because she could have killed them at any point, but she tortures them throughout the entire movie psychologically.
And they even realize that
at a certain point, but they don't realize they don't realize how much of the horizontal and the vertical she controls, and we don't as the audience either until Emile runs for the back door, and the sheriff's like, "I'm getting you out. I'm getting you out. Just smile. Just smile and let the sun shine in. Just let the sun shine." And starts singing to him. And that's when you realize exactly how much she's messing with them. And then, of course, when the sheriff does come in for real and realizes, and we come in and realize nothing that we've seen happen this entire movie has happened, except for them chopping the girlfriend when she came back, which of course she did because there was no storm. Even that was something that was created. Everything.
The storm was a particularly cool reveal of like our fourth day of sun. We were both like, fuck. Like, holy shit. She had them all. She put the whammy on them for the entire movie. She put the whammy on us for the entire movie, but she was fucking with them the entire time and making them suffer because she is one angry dead witch. Very, very, very angry. Do we feel like we were like that effect, the effect that I was talking about, the Khrushchev effect? Do we feel like she had a personality? Did the movie give her a personality? Did we get enough of her intentions and backstory that we were able to have some sort of association with that where we had sympathy for her by the end of the movie? I don't know about sympathy necessarily. I mean, like, I feel like you feel bad in the sense of like, oh shit, she's been through some crazy shit from everything that they figure out from the autopsy. You're like, okay, like there's sympathy for her past, I think, of like her, what she endured. But I think, if anything, I was associating more with the actual backstory of like the thing that they pieced together of like how she became the witch, the reveal, the cloth, the plant, like all these things, like how we got to this point was where I was kind of putting more of the emotional center. And I think honestly, really the only point that you kind of get more of something specific to her, I feel like, is when the dad attempts to sacrifice himself, right? Like, let me help you. I want to help you. And you think maybe they're going to like solve this thing. And then whether or not it's the fact that like the son stabs him before he fully gets the full experience that he was supposed to and then re-condemns the witch, or the witch was just fucking with them again. We don't really know. And it's tough because like the witch's motivation isn't like come back to life. The witch's motivation is like, I want vengeance on everything and everyone.
Fuck everyone.
And which I'm just on this endless vengeance path.
Yeah. I mean, I think I got a little confused, I guess, on the end of that. So you guys see it as, do you see it as Emile Hirsch sort of saved some sort of entity or witch entity from traveling into his father's body by then like killing him and then it returned back to her? Or what was happening there? Because I was a little confused in that moment of what that all meant.
I personally took it as one of two things that isn't clear from the movie. I think there's no way to really know, but I think it was either one of two things of either the dad tries to sacrifice himself and the witch is like, fine, you endure everything that I went through. I am going to essentially absorb your life essence. And then if you suffer all the things I suffered, then like either I come back to life or I'm cool or whatever, like the color comes back to your eyes. They have that very distinct shot. But before that can happen, his son, he begs for mercy and the son stabs him and essentially ceases the ritual early. And then we condemn the whole thing. Or alternatively, the witch was like, sure, you can sacrifice yourself for me. Wink, wink, nod, nod. I'm just going to fuck with you more. And it's all for naught anyway. And there's no way to know because regardless of whether it was real or not, it didn't finish. So we don't have any way to determine. We don't get the way that I took it.
We don't get to see what happens if Emile doesn't stab Brian Cox and put him out of his misery. You know, is she saying, oh, you interrupted my vengeance on him? he interrupted a spell. We don't know. Either way, she gets them both. So but it is up to our imagination, essentially, of if he interrupted something and now she's like, cool, I'm going to get you too, which is also kind of a creepy thought. There's a bunch of stuff that this movie leaves wide open for you to imagine about. Like, for example, the fact that they think she was an innocent who was turned into a witch by the process by which she was killed, which to me was the kind of the part of the movie I was like, really? Okay, they made an innocent into, I don't know, but upon second watch, where it seems like they're implying that the writing on the inside of her skin is actually, it's not ink, it's melanoma, it's cancer. It's some sort of growth on the inside of her skin that grew into these occult patterns.
Oh, that was okay. Yeah.
And that to me makes it a lot creepier, where, you know, what the hatred became a cancer in her skin, in a sense, which made her some sort of evil cursed object. So there were a lot of things that I caught on the next watch that were pretty cool. Some were a little cheesy, like the mom being named Ray, because she was their ray of sunshine. And they need to let the sunshine in, la 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 la. A little cheesy, but overall,
it wasn't her actual name; it was a nickname.
Right, because she was the ray of sunshine, which is, but at the same time, do you guys feel like the movie landed the plane at the end? You know, it's always the question with horror movies. Did you guys spike the landing? Did you do it? Were you okay with the toe twitch? Were you okay with the witch getting away? How was the ending for you guys? Ryan, what did you think of the ending on first watch?
I liked it a lot. I do think I don't think it closes every loop well. I think I think it does most of it pretty good. But like, you know, it is a little like, oh, the police chief's like, well, whatever happened here isn't what we think happened. Get her out of here. Like, there is a little bit of just kind of, there's a little not Deus Ex Machina-ish type stuff, but just kind of like the plot needs to happen. Like, let's get out of here type deal. But honestly, it was a cool movie. I thought that the journey was satisfying enough that the end being like, and now here we go again, felt kind of cool. Especially, I did like the radio constantly shifting, being kind of like the first warning sign. I thought that was done very well and in a cool way.
See, I thought the radio was a little overdone. That was one thing that I felt was a little bit where they're kind of almost too casual about the radio flipping channels. I think if they had shown that the radio was wonky before things had started, and them no-selling the radio would have made more sense. But them no-selling the very obviously weird stuff on the radio. They don't even talk about the storm that's going on outside between each other and how unusual it is for them to go from a bright, sunshiny day to a massive rainstorm. Apparently, it's knocking down trees. I think that was one of the weaker points. But what about you, Dan? Did the ending of the movie land again well for you?
Oh yeah, I love it. I mean, I love it's just so, it's so tragic. Like, it's such a tragic ending. Like, you expect maybe one of them to escape. Like, you really hope that Emile Hirsch is gonna make it out. And then when it just kind of like it hits you, just like, okay, you know, it's a nice twist, and it really just encapsulates this great story. I think it's just a really great ghost, supernatural, witch, you know, like witchcrafty. I don't know. It's just like a good haunted house sort of story, but just like it, you know, in a different location. The ending's great. I love the toe twitch at the end. Like, I want to see what else she's gonna do to this poor dude in the car. Like, is he gonna make her crash? Like, is he, or is it's like he's gonna start doing it? Like, who knows what's gonna happen next?
She seems to be kind of subtle. She didn't make the sheriff crash on the way to the mortuary, so who knows what the extents of her powers are? Maybe because and they make it so it seemed like she needed the blood from Brian Cox when he slices himself on her rib cage accidentally, and then the blood activates her. But then that never happens, or did it? We don't know the extent of her powers. We're left kind of wondering how much of it actually happened, and if she reset everything afterwards, or if it was all in their heads. It's cool stuff. It is cool, like you said, Twilight Zone, Outer Limits kind of stuff that they're doing in this movie. But with that, boys, we got to start doing some of our bits here. Guy Woodhouse Award. Fuck that guy. Named after the asshole in Rosemary's Baby, who is just such an unrepentant asshole. Fuck that guy. Do we have one in this movie? Is there even someone to truly hate when the credits roll in Autopsy of Jane Doe? What do you guys think? Ryan, was there anyone that you really hated in this?
I mean, I think the only option is kind of Jane Doe. And the thing is, like, you feel bad for her because she's gone through shit, but also she's unrepentantly, like, for lack of a better term, rude. Like, she's really fucking with these guys and making their lives miserable, which is a pretty shitty thing to do. And they're innocent guys. And so, like, but the thing is also, she's like the supernatural evil entity. So can you really count that? It's tough.
Right.
I don't really know. This one's a tough one.
But we know her brain's working. They see neuron activity
That's
in the
true.
piece of her brain, so that we know that her brain is working. So she is technically, in some sense, alive, but also kind of sympathetic. You kind of understand why she's pissed. She might have a point.
Why she's pissed, but it's not fair to take it out on them. Like, they're not even in the same state as the people. They're decades, almost centuries apart.
Yeah.
Sure, but they're also cutting into her. I mean, if it's just even like a reaction
That's
to people,
job.
she doesn't, maybe she doesn't know that.
That's true.
Yeah, she doesn't know that. See, that's a good point. Like, this is the like hundreds of years time span. I really like how Brian Cox in that scene where he's explaining it felt like he was taking ownership of it. Is like, we are guilty of this too. Like, what they did to her, we're cutting her open. We're looking inside of her, like, to figure her out. Like, we're also mutilating her the way that they were, taking her and torturing her in the past. So I like that he kind of like takes the guilt of what his job is on,
And that's actually, to me, just to put a cap on this, I think that's the scariest thing in the movie. That's the creepiest thing. That's the most horrific thing in this movie, is the moment where the two innocent men, who are innocent, as you say, they're just doing their job, realize that they have been hurting this woman who is still alive and who can feel everything that they're doing. And she's mad about it. She's probably not happy about it because she's alive and can feel everything. And this is how she died. And this is what made her what she is. They're like, it's, in some ways, it's kind of like they unknowingly armed a bomb. Yeah. And they're like, oh, shit. So the thought that she was alive and experiencing her own autopsy, and the fact that when they realized that she was alive and experiencing her own autopsy and she's going to fucking kill them for it, that two-sided bit of horror is just, to me, that is the meat and the marrow of this movie, pardon the pun. But I don't know if there's anyone to be really mad at, but there are people that died in this movie. So this is why you died, the name of the show. We're here to talk about why people died, sometimes in dumb ways, in movies. I don't know. Boys, I'm going to take the lead on this one because this is a very, very strange phenomenon. This movie does something that no other horror movie that I can think of does. And that is, someone dies because they choose to not get laid. He told his girlfriend to go on and come back later. And she's like, she even says, like, you might even get laid tonight, right? Or you're not going to get laid anymore. Okay, you might get laid. And then he goes, funny. I'm going to stay and help my dad.
Oof.
And
familial duty, baby.
Wow. Has that ever happened before in a horror movie where you don't get laid and you die because of it? Dan March of Madness, tell me why someone died in Autopsy of Jane Doe.
I'll do the flip side and be like, I guess the girlfriend still wanted to get laid, and that's why she died. She came back.
Oh no! It's still
that was the best like unintentional alley-oop I think we've ever had on the show.
Oh man!
He just threw that his way, and he's like, "I got this."
She did want to get some.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Once again, we're back to the
right on time.
Oh my God! Slut-shaming horror tropes.
Okay.
Damn it!
Came back.
Damn it! Yeah. You're right. The movie still at the end punishes someone for wanting to get some. Ryan Ross live. Why did someone die in Autopsy of Jane Doe?
I'm gonna go with the dad. He looks at this woman who he knows has crazy powers. He has witnessed for an hour and a half that this woman has crazy supernatural powers. And he goes, let me help you. I, a mortal man who cut into you, I have the answers. I am a white old man. I must be able to fix this.
What is it?
Oh, I saw that differently. I've
got my old white man powers. I can save you.
I mean, well, you know, like they want to fix it. Men want to
take my privilege.
Yeah.
Take my privilege, young woman,
there must
and
be
use
something
it.
I can do. Anyway,
Heal yourself with my privilege.
He looks in her eyes and he goes like, "Let me help you." And he goes like essentially 15 seconds later goes, "Oh, I was not prepared for what I had asked to help with.
It really sucks to be a woman.
This
Damn!
is the word. Put me out of my misery. I regret it.
I chose poorly.
I instantly regret my decision."
Oh my
Oh my goodness. That is a very good one. Yes, he did. He did regret his decision. He also was given a fair chance to get out of there. Emile Hirsch does say to him, "Dad, I think we should get the fuck out of here."
He's like,
probably 4 or 5 times.
Nah.
Yeah, 3 or 4. Yeah.
But then when he finally turns to him and goes, "Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
Such a great, yep, that's right. You took
all
some time to be like,
swung open, all the bodies are gone. Let's fucking
leave.
He
goes, I'm with you now. Let's get the fuck out of here.
They still have a whole conversation now. He's like, "This isn't possible." It's like, dude, that was 10 minutes ago.
Well, they keep being introduced to what's possible as things go on. You know, things get more and more like, holy, now we got zombies.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, we've already witnessed the zombies. We've already witnessed all the bodies leaving. And he's like, this shouldn't be possible. It's like, that conversation needed to happen earlier.
What's really funny is I didn't remember the zombies. I didn't remember.
Oh, remember that?
Nope. They totally vanish out of my memory from the one time I saw this movie. And this time when I saw it again, I was like, man, this whole zombie thing kind of sucks because they just are never in one place. They seem to just appear and disappear. And it just doesn't make any sense how they could physically get around. And then, of course, it's like, no, it's all hallucination. I'm like, of course. Now it makes sense. Now it's fine that they did all that.
Well, it's also funny because it's like, this is the most geographically inefficient morgue ever. Like, long hallways between the laboratory and his office, which clearly has to be a hallway and a half away.
But it's a converted house. It's a converted house is the whole point, right? Isn't that, I think, the implication?
I thought that they said that the basement had been expanded for the mortuary or whatever, that they added all this stuff.
Yeah.
You'd think that they would be a little bit more intentional about like, okay, we're going to have like the lab and the sink, and then we're gonna have like the closet, but it's like everything is a mile away from each other. We gotta travel 5 minutes in any direction for the next step of any process.
Yep. But to their credit, they do explain it like this wasn't supposed to be a mortuary, but now that's gonna come back to bite us in the ass.
No joke.
Big time. All right, well, it is that time. It's Scully time. It's time to rate Autopsy of Jane Doe. I am so glad I picked this movie for you guys. I've been wanting to bring it on the show for a while. I think it's a great movie. I don't think it's an all-time classic or anything, but it's a nice, simple little bit of horror. Like I said, I feel like there are some little cheesy bits. There's some parts where the acting doesn't quite connect for me, but I think this is just like a solid middle-of-the-road movie. I think, generally speaking, if you put this on, people will say that's a good movie. Not going to win any awards or anything, but I think it's a damn solid movie. 8.5 Scullys for me. Dan, March of Madness, you've come back. One of your favorite movies, you said, one of your top 10 favorite movies. How many Scullys do you give to Autopsy of Jane Doe?
I'm going with 9.
Yes, sir.
I knock it down a little bit. Like I said, the ending, what they were trying to do with Emile Hirsch killing his dad, and then the eyes, like I wasn't quite sure of like what direction they were trying to explain the witch. And I feel like, okay, yes, leave it open-ended, but they revisited the eyes and everything changing so much that I feel like they were trying to give some sort of explanation. So because it didn't like hit and I was confused with it, that's what kind of knocks it down. Yeah, but I think, and then like some of the other things that might like Emile Hirsch's overreaction to the girlfriend, which he's very,
or whatever he was
level.
doing. Yeah.
It's very level. And then all of a sudden it's just very over the top that he's lost her. So, but I think overall, this is just it's just one of those, like, it's a it's not a perfect movie, but it's a perfect horror film, if that makes sense.
It
like,
does.
It's just so well crafted. The scares are great. The mystery is incredible. Like it's also just a really fun watch. You're just having a good time being scared while you're on this mystery ride. And the acting's great. I think it's really well cast and it's really well shot. And, like the jump scares that are there are good. The sense of dread is great. It's a nice, well-crafted, great horror movie.
Yeah. I think you're spot on. It's lean, it's mean, it's got no fat on it. It's well crafted. It does exactly what it's meaning to do. It's a little slight, but that's because it's not trying to do too much, but it does what it does very well. Ryan Ross live, your first time with Autopsy of Jane Doe. How many Scullys do you think it gets?
I'm going to agree with Dan here. I think it's a 9. I agree. Honestly,
nice.
I agree with the reasoning as well. I think that the ending was cool, but felt kind of unexplained in some areas. And I agree. I felt like they were doing something with the whole, she's revitalizing herself as the man dies. And then that kind of just goes out the window. You talked about it being reset, like all the stuff they took out of her. And it's like, some of that's probably hallucinations, the body parts and whatever, but like the cloth, like, unless she's just truly fucking with them and giving them backstory before she kills them, it's like the cloth seems like it was like a discovery. It seems important. And are those things just back in her now? Like, there's definitely some weirdness there. I can see the value of the cat and the girlfriend dying. I do still feel the cat was extraneous and the girlfriend wasn't really handled the best. But like I said, I think the music's good. The cinematography's awesome. I think that the effects and like the way that they continue to ramp it up and build it throughout the movie feels really, really cool. And I think the father-son relationship progresses well throughout the movie too.
Nice.
I think, like, in general, I think that this does almost everything it tries to do pretty damn well, and the few things it misses are not that important, even if they are misses. So I think it's a solid 9.
That's perfectly well said. I agree with that as well. I think that the things that it misses on to varying degrees are going to affect your enjoyment of it, but nothing it misses is a game killer by any means. I hate the toe twitch at the end, personally.
Oh, really?
Why?
Why?
I think it's too much. I think having her actually move a little bit is kind of like, it's like what I was saying at the beginning, like the beginning, the little, like the last second stinger on the horror movie, right? The last little bit of, ooh, she moved, If they had made it, I don't even know what would be better, but like if they even had made it even less of an obvious toe twitch, right? Where you have to like, did she just move? Like go back and check it again. It might have been creepier where she's like a tiny little bit, as opposed to the like big long that you have in the movie where it really moves.
I would agree with you, except for the fact that what sells it for me is the bell sound effect. The bell sound effect is just like so tongue in cheek.
I hate that.
I love
the bell. I love the bell.
I love the bell.
Why are you giving us tongue in cheek at this point in the movie? I want to have it
fucking funny.
I didn't find it funny. It bothered me, but that's why I'm an 8.5 and why you guys are a 9. I think it's a very solid movie. You guys just thought it was more solid. I love that. I love that you guys dug this movie, but that means that
usually it's odd that we rate higher than you. That is something that's unusual. Usually you're the highest score of the three of us.
That is very true. That is unusual. Especially for a movie that I bring to the table.
That's also true.
But
that's also
I love that. I love that you guys love this movie more than me. That actually makes me very happy. But what makes me not happy is I don't have a prompt anymore. I'm out of a prompt. So I've got to reach up for my bucket of the beast and get another one out.
That means that I am going to reveal soon, correct?
That's right. What are you sitting on? What are you sitting on, Dan?
Sitting on Cook.
Oh,
and I've got chest.
Chest.
Which would have been great for this movie had I known.
Lots of chest in this movie. Lots of breaking open.
Well, there's a spider now.
Chests.
Oh, watch out for the spider.
Yeah, that's from my nephew Jackson. Got me that for Christmas.
True. That's very cool.
Yeah. All right, reaching into my bucket of the beast and digging around in all of these 666 prompts.
Well, you draw a fun stat fact for us to pass the time.
All right, stat man.
Our scores are converging. Our averages are getting closer together. So Dan is still middle of the road with 8. Ian's at 8.5 and I'm 7.5. But our like unabridged averages are all starting to verge towards 8.
Oh man, that's as we see more and more movies, I think it's going to continue. But I have picked mine. I haven't looked at it yet.
Oh, let's see.
And I'm looking at it now. yes.
Oh no.
Oh, this is going to be a fantastic one. It is not going to it's not going to focus
Oh no,
on the camera.
it's undead. Yeah.
It's undead. Undead.
Doesn't this movie worked for that, right?
You know what sucks? Is that on this show? I mean, we're still kind of early days. We're only in the second season so far, and we've been accused by some people who I respect of our
Rigging
averages
it?
being too high. Like, what's our overall average in the 8s, right?
Yeah,
So-
I think it's pretty high. We have
Unedited, yours is 8.3, Dan's is 8.01, and
Oh,
mine is
no.
7.7 overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are
Which
pretty
is-
high.
which is kind of high on a 10-point scale. You know, we don't have a whole lot of low scores, but it's because it's early days and we pick these things. And for the most part, I'm immediately thinking of all the movies I can't wait to show you guys and can't wait to discuss for everyone on this show. We're watching good movies
Yeah.
for the most part. And this is gonna be another one where I'm like, well, shit, the first one I think of, it's gonna be a classic.
Oh my.
I
It's
just
gonna
get
be
lucky.
a classic.
I just shoot blind, and I've gotten
Yeah,
lucky.
you're the wild card. Thank God. That's one of the reasons why we have you here, is to keep us on our toes. But Dan, March of Madness, it is your
I have
opportunity to keep us on our toes. What are we watching next week for your prompt? Cook, is it?
Cook.
Cook.
So there was like you said, I think we said either it was in the extended post show or something, or right in last one was like with Cook. Immediately I thought of the menu, but that felt a little too obvious and feels a little bit more satire and not so much horror. So I wanted to dig around, think about some other stuff. Didn't want to go Hannibal Lecter. And I
Right.
remembered this other movie that popped up that was a kind of hidden gem. It's definitely unseen. And I remember really being surprised by this when I first saw it. So this would be my second watch when we watch this. But I have chosen Fresh, which is from 2022. And it is starring our man, the Winter Soldier, Sebastian Stan.
Oh,
What?
I didn't know
I-
you did horror.
This was actually the first time I had seen him in another role that was not Bucky, that was not in a
That's
Marvel movie.
hilarious.
So I was like, I'm gonna check him out and see. And again, like this, his performance is something that's, you know, one of the positives of this movie. But I won't say too much, because if you both have not seen Fresh, I think you're in for a treat.
I love the name and I love Sebastian Stan. I've never heard of it and I don't know how it slipped by me, but
Wow.
fantastic. Cannot wait
Interesting.
to check this out.
You never heard of it?
Never even heard of it.
Yeah.
But I love the
Wild.
title. The title indicates that it could be something fun. And if, especially with the prompt Cook, I'm in.
I'll throw
Say
this
less.
out there. I've seen the only other thing I've ever seen Sebastian Stan in that I've actually watched. I know that he's done some other things. Is a very strange pull, but pre his Avenger fame getting super big through Marvel, he had a TV role on Once Upon a Time where he played the Mad Hatter.
Oh, that's cool.
And
I
it's
can see him as that.
hilarious because he's really good at it. He plays this really dramatic Mad Hatter in Once Upon a Time. But it's just funny because it's that and the Winter Soldier are the only things I've seen him in, and those are very disparate. So I'm excited to see what else he can bring to the table.
Fantastic. Well, I'm looking forward to checking this out. It's rare that I get stumped on this show, and I love it when I do. So let's check out a new movie. Dan, thank you for bringing that to the table.
You're very welcome.
That's very exciting. So, all right. Well, we'll come back next week and watch Fresh. Sebastian Stan. When it come out?
2022, I believe.
2022.
Yeah.
Okay,
Not that
recent.
old.
Recent. Very nice. Well, all right, everyone. Thank you for checking out our episode on Autopsy of Jane Doe. On our way to the exits, Dan. On our way to the exits, Dan, where can they find us?
Did you say she's a witch?
She's a witch! Burn!
Burn her! Burn her!
You can find us at beacons.ai/TIWYD pod. And that's where you can get all things like this beanie. You can stream us everywhere. You can watch our pretty faces on YouTube. And you can even check out our Patreon. And no joke, I looked behind me and I forgot that Jane Doe was right there. And I kind of got scared for a moment. So if you're watching us on YouTube, you might have seen it in my face.
Got
but I forgot
jump
she was right
scared
there.
by
Now
by
I
a
go
still
back and
poster.
find that. That's amazing.
Believable. Ryan, freak him out with our Patreon info.
Our Patreon has a bunch of different perks. You get a bunch of exclusive perks at varying levels. You can join at any level you'd like, but you can get merch discounts. You get access to our extended editions. You get access to our bonus content, or you can get a shout out every episode like our lovely dedicated benefactor, CG.
CG.
Hello.
Thank you, CG.
So thank you guys
Appreciate
all
you.
who support the Patreon. We really appreciate it. It really makes a difference. We do have checkpoints that if we reach certain level of patrons, we unlock new stuff for the podcast, and all of those proceeds are going to help improve the podcast overall. And for all of those of you who just choose to listen and stick around with us as well, that means the world to us that you choose to spend your time with us. So thank you so much.
Seriously. To everyone listening out there, if you made it this far in the show especially, thank you very, very much for checking us out. We appreciate it more than you could possibly imagine. Tell everyone you know to check us out. Please, we're trying to grow this show and get bigger and put up more great content for all of you guys. But that being said, we're coming back next week with Fresh, Dan's Choice. We're coming back next week with Fresh from 2022. Go check that out and come back and check us out. For Ryan Ross Live, for Dan March of Madness, I'm Sir Ian Dangerous. We will see you next time right here on
This is why you die.